Luis Diaz breaks his silence on the famous cancelled goal with admirable composure. Liverpool striker Luis Diaz has broken his silence on the Reds' 2-1 win over Tottenham, in which his goal was wrongly disallowed. The 26-year-old was incorrectly flagged for offside when he sent the game's opener into the net, and the ensuing VAR debacle only added to the frustration for anyone looking at the game from an LFC perspective. When he was asked about the infamous incident after taking up his role with the Colombian national team, he responded with admirable grace and wisdom. "The goal was a bit complicated. It affected me a lot at that moment, but not only for me, but for all my colleagues. We talked a lot about it in the middle of the match. It was a positive result that will help us. These things can happen. Referees are human beings. We have to stay calm and there will be a next time," Diaz said. Diaz must be an absolute saint to be able to take such an inexcusably stupid mistake by the referees of the match with such composure and maturity. Even taking into account that it's only been a few days since the incident, many other players would have been up in arms if it had happened to them. The Liverpool striker knows that, unfair as it was, there was nothing he or his team could do about what happened in North London. Except to use it as motivation to pick up the points. We could have had things gone differently that evening. It was the result of genuine human error, but it still had serious consequences, and those responsible for the disallowed goal need to learn from their errors in judgment. Hopefully when we talk about Diaz after the international break, we will be talking about the goals he scored for the Reds. Diaz had a good start to the season, but has been a bit lackluster in recent weeks. The Colombian star will want to prove himself again after the international break. The Reds have made a move for a £69 million player. 7 games into the Premier League season, and Liverpool have been very successful in the transfer business. The Reds have revamped their midfield with great success, and the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis Mac Allister and Ryan Gravenberch have made a good start under Jürgen Klopp. But now that they have solved their problems in the middle of the park, Liverpool can turn their attention to strengthening elsewhere, and it looks like they are doing just that. However, with reports suggesting they are after a Bundesliga star, the Anfield outfit may have to bide their time for a specific target. In the summer transfer window, Liverpool spent €172 million as they began their rebuild under Klopp. The January transfer window and next summer could see further big moves from the Merseyside club. Having failed to qualify for the Champions League last season, the Reds seem more determined than ever to avoid back-to-back failures by planning for the future, and perhaps they can make up for the panic in midfield in other positions. This is where Leipzig striker Lois Openda could come in. According to Christian Falk, who gave a transfer update on Openda in Fabrizio Romano's daily briefing, Liverpool are one of the clubs tracking the striker. Leipzig are a bit relaxed at the moment because there is no active release clause for Lois Openda next summer. He starts in 2025, and I've heard it's slightly higher than the £69 million reported elsewhere. I'm sure clubs like Liverpool will be keeping an eye on him. You have already seen with Dominic Szoboszlai that they have had a mostly positive experience with Leipzig players. It's also worth noting the similarities in style between the two clubs, which would also benefit Liverpool, he said. After scoring 21 goals for Lens in League One last season, Openda more than deserved his move to Leipzig. Since then, he hasn't looked back and has made a fast start in the Bundesliga, finding the net 5 times in 11 appearances for the German club this season. Statistically, he will certainly give Klopp plenty to think about when compared to Darwin Núñez in league matches before this weekend, via FBref. Openda has received plenty of praise throughout his career, including from Thomas Lech, the Bochum boss. Lech said it was important for him to find a rhythm. He got playing time and got his confidence back. He also accepted some things in his development. I put a lot of emphasis on the off-ball game and he embraced that. That's how he increased his speed in the transition game. He has constantly improved himself. He went from a talented player to a very good player, he said. Looking at the Liverpool squad, the striker position looks well stocked, but the new signings are fully fit. Klopp is choosing between Gakpo, Núñez and Jota, and none of them seems to be fully satisfied. Some of the available players could be parted ways next summer, which would open up a vacancy for Openda. Fabrizio Romano summarizes Liverpool's stance on Stefan Bajcetic amid speculation. The 18-year-old has made just 2 appearances this season and has suffered another minor problem in recent weeks after only recently returning from a long-term injury. Competition for places in midfield has also strengthened considerably over the summer, which could pose a challenge for him to break into the team even when fully fit. However, as Romano explained, Liverpool still see Bajcetic as an important part of their squad. There is also some speculation about a possible loan move for youngster Stefan Bajcetic. He hasn't played much this season, partly due to injury problems, but he is still seen as an important player for the present and future of the club, and Liverpool believe they have a very talented potential. Of course, with so many transfers it's not easy for him to come back to the team, but at the moment Liverpool haven't made any decision on Bajcetic, so we'll see what happens later this year. But if you ask me, it's more likely that he will be loaned out to develop, he said. It was heartbreaking to see Bajcetic succumb to an adductor injury last March. He had broken into the first team at Liverpool and made an impact at Anfield in a largely outdated midfield. Bajcetic was not helped by 4 new arrivals in that area of the pitch in the summer, 2 of whom, Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch, have only featured sporadically since their arrival at the club. Alexis Mac Allister and Dominic Szoboszlai looked set to occupy 2 of the 3 positions in midfield when available, while Curtis Jones was almost a certain starter before his red card at Tottenham earned him a 3-match home ban. With Harvey Elliott and Thiago Alcantara set to join the squad as soon as they recover from their injury problems, Jürgen Klopp will be spoiled for choice when he has all these players. With such intense competition for places, a loan exit for Bajcetic could make sense. The aforementioned Elliott can testify to the long-term value of the right temporary move, having not looked back since his time at Blackburn in 2020-2021. Still, the Spain under-21 international deserves to be given time and space to reclaim his place in Liverpool's midfield, especially if some of his teammates face similar injury problems to his own. Bajcetic is stylistically similar to Thiago in that there are no other players with his profile in midfield. Given that Thiago is also in the final year of his contract and continues to have injury problems, Bajcetic's value becomes even more prominent. Sevilla are interested in the Spaniard and are preparing to make a loan offer. If an offer comes in January, Liverpool are willing to accept it in order for Bajcetic to get more minutes and continue his development. Of course, Klopp hasn't made up his mind yet, but Bajcetic is unlikely to get a chance in the current midfield setup. The Spanish star has shown his confidence with his performances last year, and if he continues his development, he has the qualities to play in Liverpool's midfield for many years to come.